Here to talk about it, Mike Sommers, President and CEO of the American Petroleum Institute. Mike Sommers, not only did fossil fuels get slammed at every turn, but even Joe Manchin's little slice of heaven, they're going to give him permitting reform. You got all these Democrats in the House saying they will never vote for permitting reform. So you are the head of the trade group for one of America's greatest industries. What's your take on this bill?
Well, there are three big provisions that we have a lot of concerns about. First of all, they put a new tax on American corporations, the so-called 15% minimum tax, which is really going to hurt American oil and gas producers. Second of all, they put a new tax on American natural gas, which has been the resource and the savior for the world during this energy crisis. And then third, they put a new tax on importing oil from overseas. Those three provisions alone are going to be very harmful to American consumers at a time when energy prices continue to rise and at a time when this country is being relied upon by our allies to produce more energy to supply the world during a time of energy crisis in Europe and in Asia. That is not the recipe that we should be pursuing right now.
You know, Mike, world oil prices have come down. Gas prices have come down. They're still well above where they were 2 years ago. But natural gas prices, which is, first of all, the cleanest burning fuel, everybody uses natural gas, heating, air conditioning, you name it. Those prices are still exploding.
That's the real concern. In fact, right now in the United States, natural gas prices are at about $9 per MMBTU. But in Europe, the price is over $90 per MMBTU, and that's before they're even heading into the winter season. This could be a real energy crisis in Europe if we don't do something about it now. In fact, the top Google search in Germany right now is for firewood. That's really, really scary, Larry. We need to make sure that we're exporting American natural gas now so that they're prepared for the winter, because Russia is not going to let up. All they're doing is turning down the amount of natural gas they're exporting into Europe, not increasing that number. We're ready. We have 400 years of supply of natural gas in Pennsylvania alone. We can produce more, and if we get the regulatory process right here in the United States.
It's more important than leases or permits. You can't use the damn thing unless you get a permit. I don't see that permitting reform either from the administration or passing Congress. I'll give you the last word.
Well, we certainly wish that they did the permitting reform before they passed this Inflation Reduction Act. That certainly should have been part of the deal. We haven't seen the final language for this permitting bill. We'll support it if it's right for American producers. But at this point, we haven't seen the language, and we need to see the language before we support any new so-called permitting.
All right. Thanks very much. Mike Sommers, American Petroleum Institute.